Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I'm Maggie.
I'm Wanda.
And we're here to talk about Where Are They Now? Journalism, YouTube edition. We're going to be sharing with you guys where everyone is now and doing some digging of ourselves. But before we get started, Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
Short update today, but long beef. So my update is that I am still mildly COVID positive, which is unfortunate because it has now been 11 or 12 days since I've tested positive. I've been testing every single day, hoping for a different outcome. But unfortunately, it seems like that's not going to be the case. Like, I've mostly been getting better since the last time I've been on the podcast, but I did develop a slightly new and terrible symptom, which was like nausea and motion sickness. So in the beginning, it was really bad, where sometimes if I like walked around, I would start getting like motion sickness. But now it's mostly seems to be centered around being in cars. So I can't go on long drives. Like even drives of like 10, 15 minutes triggers it. But I've self-diagnosed myself properly and I've gotten gravel, and gravel has been chef's kiss.
Two things. One, I believe you are falling into the definition of psychopath. Crazy? What's the word where like you do the same thing expecting different results?
Probably psychopath. Why?
Because you keep testing for COVID every day.
Yeah, but like, what do you want me to do? Like, I mean,
funny.
like, I assume, like, the assumption is, like, based on, like, news articles, is that I will test negative eventually. But until that time,
Until that time, you will be continuing to test positive forever.
yeah, I hope not. I almost thought I was negative today. So, that is an improvement. It was an improvement from the hard line that I got yesterday. I've been getting, like, really, like, wonky. Like, I wish I had like a picture of all my COVID tests just to like show like the progression of it going like up and down in faintness. It's
Scrapbooking.
been really confusing.
Um, my second thing is your voice sounds a lot better. Did you hear when you were listening to it back? Did you hear like your voice last week?
Yeah, it was definitely like a little bit raspy. I think it was the congestion.
Hmm.
But I did not mind it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was. But it was fine. It still sounded like me, but it was just like a lower register of me.
Mm-hmm. Now you're back to your normal register of Wanda. Wait, like, do you think when you take like those PCR tests that you need for flying, that you would test positive on those? Like, imagine Jordan bought a ticket for you to Germany and then you tested positive and you're like, fuck.
That like actually would very much be the case because I read that PCR tests are more sensitive. So like they want you to take like rapid tests like after you've tested positive just to see if you still have it in your system. But with the PCR tests, they can detect it like a month later. Like you could still have like tiny bits of viral load even though you're not contagious anymore. They can still detect it in you, which is so it's like I guess it's good. I guess like I'm not gonna tell Jordan that it was like good that he didn't invite me on his trip to Germany, but like I guess it was for the better.
Viral load. It's funny.
Yeah, I've been saying
Yuck.
I, I realized that like that is something that me and Jordan have been saying, and now I guess I have just propagated to the masses.
Yuck. Nice. Well, I'm glad you're on your way to a slow, steady recovery.
Mhm. Slow but steady. Wishing that the motion sickness goes away. But gravel, again, sponsorship? Eh? Eh? Anyways, what do you have going on? Or what did you have going on?
um, I have been dying of allergies and been constantly exposed to COVID. First, it was Nick's aunt. Now it might be Nick's mom. Um, yeah, so I took 3 COVID tests last week, negative. I developed a bit of a sore throat that comes and goes. Uh, and my allergies suck, so it makes it kind of hard to tell if I'm actually sick or not. Um, but all in all, it's allergy season, people. Take your pills, have a tissue box around. Um, that's my only advice for people with allergies. That's all I can do. I'm sorry.
Two things. When you take a COVID test, do you find that you like sneeze a lot?
Oh my god, yeah. I sneeze like 4 or 5 times. Apparently, I'm going too far up when I do that.
Oh, but it says like at a minimum you have to go up like
Like close to your ear,
zero point
right?
0.5 inches. Like, yeah, you're supposed to stick it up as far as you can
Yeah.
until you like feel resistance.
Uh, well, the first time I did it, I was with Nick's mom, and she was like, "Oh no, you don't need to stick it up that high." And I was like, "Wait, but every time like a nurse did it for me, it was so high. So I feel like this is good if I'm sneezing."
Yeah, I sneeze every time, and like it's literally like constant sneezing. I have to blow my nose in
Yeah.
between everything, and like Jordan doesn't, and I'm like, am I wrong here? Like, did I do
No.
something?
It's so gross and embarrassing when the swab is full of your mucus too. Yuck. Wait, so you mentioned when you swab it, you do your cheeks and your tongue. Do you do that after your nose or before?
No.
Okay.
Well, like if you like the taste of your mucus, you do
Wow.
it before.
Ugh.
But yeah, so like I guess Twitter advice and also like some like medical professionals on Twitter have been saying that if you want a more accurate rapid antigen test, then you should swab both your cheeks for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then you should also swab your like the back of your throat for like 5 to 10 seconds. And then you swab both nostrils as directed. And they say that like that's more likely to get a better like accurate result. Like you're more likely to actually detect like the viral load in your body doing it that way. But you can't eat or drink anything 30 minutes beforehand. So I've been doing my test first thing in the morning. You're also supposed to blow your nose apparently before you do the test too.
Hmm. Interesting. I
Yeah.
think because you have allergies too, right? Like
Yeah.
pollen. Uh lately when I've been looking at the like pollen outlook, it's been very, very high. So that might be why, because I remember doing like when the nurse would administer the COVID test, I didn't sneeze. My eyes would just water. So
That's the second thing. Now, because I had like a sinus thing from COVID, I don't know if my sneezing and my nose running now is allergy related or because I'm still recovering from COVID. It's very difficult to tell.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel. What is your beef or crush of the week?
Okay. So, my beef of the week is once again Jordan. So, I told you, I think last week, that Jordan had invited me on a trip to Germany, but then didn't check the prices of plane tickets. So we decided that I shouldn't go just because it was so expensive. So this happened again. Jordan has a friend, his best friend, Matt. He lives in LA. And Jordan has been saying for the past couple of months, like, hey, let's go visit Matt in LA. I want to go visit Matt in LA. And he invited me along. So I booked tickets. And then I realized that there was no good Airbnbs nearby. Originally, we were planning to stay with Matt, and I always thought that was the case, but Matt might be getting a puppy around that time. Um, and then Jordan also found out that Matt has a cat. So I can't stay there because I have really bad allergies. So then I canceled our flight because I thought that going on Expedia and booking like a hotel plus a flight would be more economical and you end up saving kind of like a couple $100, which is always good. So yesterday, canceled the flight and did a lot of legwork trying to find like a good hotel package to figure out where we want to stay. I went through like 3 options with Jordan, and I guess he was kind of having like a day where he just wasn't feeling well and he was just like not really listening to whatever I was saying. But so there was one hotel in Koreatown and I really liked it because like Koreatown's so close to everything. Like and the hotel was like very like boutique hotel, had like a really fancy restaurant. It's called Line. If any of you want to look it up. But yeah,
Is it the
very close to
Japanese one?
I don't know if it's Japanese, but Roy Choi is like an executive chef there.
Oh shit. He's
Yeah,
famous.
so yeah, exactly. So it was like super cool. There was like a bar slash club in the hotel. There was like a really cool like garden-esque restaurant. The rooms were kind of like it, like not as good, but like it was nice. Like the overall like location, everything was nice. But it was 40 minutes by drive because LA traffic away from Matt. And I told that to Jordan. And he was like, "Oh, it's fine. We shouldn't plan our trip around Matt." And I was like, "Are you sure? Like I thought the whole purpose of this trip was to go see him." Um and then I also had another option which was right by LAX because that's about 10 minutes away from where Matt lives. But then, of course, like when you're by LAX, there's like nothing nearby. Like you would have to like Uber, Postmates, whatever, everything in, but you'd be close to Matt. And then Jordan started getting fed up with all these options and he was like, "What how much is like immunotherapy?" Which is like shots to, I guess, cure you, quote unquote, of your allergies. So that way we can just stay with Matt. And then I got fed up because I was like, I've done this much work and you have not made a decision and you seem to have not listened to anything I've said this entire day. So I was like, what if you just go alone? So now, once again, have I been invited on a trip that I'm no longer going on?
Maybe try again today. See how his mood is.
I think it's for the better. Like it's like if I go, it's an additional like we have to pay for the hotel because we can't stay with Matt. But if he goes alone, he can go for a little bit, like he can go for less time and he could stay with Matt. So it basically saves him like $600-$700.
Sorry to Jordan. I mean, not sorry, but like the audacity of this man to be like, "Can you just take a shot to like get over your allergies?" Like
it's not one shot. It's
multiple
shots. And then you have to take it consecutively for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I know because my brothers do this. It's a lot of work and it still doesn't like mediate all your allergies. Like it's better than before. Before, like literally every time they'd sneeze, I'd tell them to shut up. But it was just so constant and so loud. So now it's like slightly better, but it's still like not all of the allergies are fully recovered. So
all right, your brother Nick,
both my brothers.
Oh, okay. But Nick just got a cat.
Yeah, I guess he's not allergic to cats anymore.
Wonder what that's like.
Allergy shots won't solve your problem. Also, that's mean of Jordan. Is he gonna pay for them? Is he gonna pay for these allergy shots? Does he like needles?
He did say that. He was like, "How much is immunotherapy? I think that is cheaper than booking a hotel."
I'm mad for you.
Thank you. It was like, it was more upset about how much work and effort I had put in yesterday trying to find like something that was like a good compromise of everything that like he told me that the trip was supposed to be. So
yeah, I would be pissed too. Reasonably pissed.
Yeah. But I woke up, I feel better about it. I am okay. But now I'm just like, "Hey Jordan, like you should book your ticket because it's only going to go up from here." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get around to it." Which means he's probably going to pay an additional $200 because he's going to procrastinate this, even though it takes only a couple of minutes. But it's no longer my problem.
Just for that, me and you should go to LA when he goes.
We should. What's your beef or crush of the week?
My beef is my work. I recently let slip, I've told Wanda this already, so it's not news to her, but I recently let slip of how old I was to my team, and I was bullied for 2 minutes. I was roasted. I felt like I was in the middle of a sitcom. Like everyone kept doing different reactions. One person started like cradling a baby. Another person gave me a paper towel and was like, "Here's your diaper." Another person was like, "Wow, my sons are like your age." Another person was like, "Oh my god, you do not seem that age." And then I told another close coworker of mine who is the same age, but I guess she didn't realize we were the same age or something. And she was like, "What? We're the same age? Why do you seem so older?" And I was like, "Okay, well, that's a lot." And I think it's just because she seems so young and happy. And I'm old and not happy.
So everyone at work assumed you were older than you are.
Yeah. And so there's like one coworker on my team who like he kind of has a baby face. So I guess they were like, oh, so and so, like you're the youngest, right, on the team? And I looked at him and I was like, huh, maybe you are. And he was like, oh yeah, like I'm 31. And I was like, oh wait, you're not the youngest by 5 years.
Do you rather wish you looked younger?
No, I think I'm okay with this. I would want people to assume I was older. Only because I feel like, you know, I gotta represent like the people of our generation. I can't make people think that I'm act super young. I gotta act super old and cranky all the time. Okay, that's it for my beef. Small beef this week.
Yeah.
But also if my employer's watching this, JK, I love ya. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about some of the popular YouTubers from the 2010s era. We're going to be sharing with each other where they are now, maybe dropping some bombshells, and we'll be alternating to see, I don't know, just to like share facts with the other person, because I don't know everything that's going on. Only the some stuff.
And these
okay.
are YouTubers that we watched, I guess, like in our prime of YouTube.
Yes, we did not include YouTube's current prime because I don't know who that is anymore. I'm very out of the loop. Yeah, I think our main focus this episode seems to be on the British and the Asian YouTubers.
The two types of YouTubers I wanted to be.
Exactly, British or Asian. Dang it, I couldn't be British. Yeah, in the 2010s eras, I felt like YouTube was just exploding. Like that was the prime.
Like Google AdSense, right? Like Google had bought YouTube then. Like creators were actually making real money off of YouTube. More people, I guess, joined YouTube. I should have joined YouTube. I've thought about it back in the day. I remember this, and you didn't.
I just remember like every week. I don't know if it was like maybe I was young or like maybe that's how powerful YouTube really was back then and still is today. But it was like I religiously watched these people. I subscribed to their like I was really in the know about what they were. They were so entertaining, so funny. I just felt like this is the cool community. And especially too, it was like really good representation for Asians like us, because you don't back then you didn't see Asians in like mainstream media. We had to go to YouTube to see all these people. Ryan Hika, KevJumba, Michelle Phan, WongFu, JK Films. Anyways, there was a lot of Asian YouTubers back then. There still are even more now, but I think I would credit the whole burst of Asian YouTubers to the 2010 OGs. I think they actually launched in like 2008, but like I'm just calling it the 2010 era. Michelle Thon, Vietnamese American beauty YouTuber. She, without a doubt, changed the game. I do not follow the beauty community on YouTube. I just know she was one of the first OGs. She's known for a very unique look. Like she's very pretty. And you don't see, I guess, like a lot of representation. Surprisingly, she's only 35 years old. I don't know why I thought she was like in her 40s. She also is the founder of M Cosmetics, which is why like you see her YouTube content shift. I mean, I guess like she became like gradually more quiet and she moved on to like really big things, which is what happens when you become like a really big influencer. So M Cosmetics, it's supposed to be like representation to the Vietnamese community because M means like younger, like sister or brother kind of thing in Vietnamese. And it was under L'Oreal, which is good because I think L'Oreal is known for like good quality, like good budget kind of cosmetics line. But when M Cosmetics launched, people criticized it because they were like, Michelle Phan is literally so unique, so interesting, and the packaging around this makeup is so boring, so disappointing. And then it was just really bad. In 2015, this is when she disappeared. And then she came back and she released an 11-minute long video explaining the same reason, a lot of reasons why YouTubers left. She said she was getting too vain. She was letting like social media kind of control her life and she wanted everything to be picture perfect. when on the inside she was kind of like crumbling apart. She was very insecure, very depressed, and felt like she lost like kind of all inspiration and all hope, and she didn't like making content anymore, which I find is a very reoccurring theme in a lot of these YouTubers we will hear about soon. She was also hit with a really big lawsuit for using unlicensed background music in one of her like popular videos or something. It was from the record label that has like Calvin Harris, Deadmau5, like Cascade, like some big DJs, and they were like, Michelle Phan has not paid us for any like royalties from that video, and she was like, I made this song popular. So that went back and forth, and I'm sure that like made her very stressed out too. So she has resurfaced, but she looks very different. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her recently, but I was looking at it on Reddit too, because I was like, something about her seems off. And there are rumors that she has had plastic surgery. She denies it because that's what every influencer does. They will not admit to it. And she said, no, it's just because my makeup style has changed. I've just enhanced my lips. I've enhanced my face, like that kind of thing. She says it's all makeup. What do you think now that I see you Googling pictures of her?
It's hard because it's like she does look very, very doll-like, I guess, in her new like Instagram pictures. But like I don't know, it's hard because it's like I could see that she might have did something with her eyes, like the same thing that they say that Kendall Jenner did, where they like cat-eyed it. But like other than that, like everything else, like her nose kind of looks the same. Like she might have gotten like lip fillers.
I think it's the
but
fillers.
Like everyone gets that.
I think it's just an LA thing to do.
Yeah, but like I think the biggest difference is probably her eyes. But then again, it could be attributed to like makeup.
Yeah, it could be. I just know that when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, Michelle Phan looks so different. She was always pretty and unique looking, I think. And then when I saw her, I was like, oh, interesting. Very, very doll-like.
Yeah.
Anyways, Michelle Phan was a very interesting person to track because when I started looking into her, I had two kind of rabbit holes I fell down. And this is where, like, nothing was confirmed. This was all kind of hearsay, but also very scary sounding. So I'll start with the first one, where Michelle Phan joined a cult. So she started posting on her Instagram story about this guy named Dr. Joe Dispenza. She went to a 7-day retreat by Dr. Joe Dispenza. She said how like super impressed she was with him and how he can transform his body using brain and mind. He calls it reprogramming your mind. So apparently he had this like huge accident that said like he wouldn't be able to walk again or something about like destroying his spinal cord, spinal nerves in his back. And usually when that happens, you're pretty messed up for life. Like you have chronic pain, like it takes forever to walk. But he said reprogramming your mind, just meditating for a shit ton, will make you walk again. And Michelle Phan has fallen into this, unfortunately. And side note, I think people are more likely to join cults because cult leaders kind of manipulate them. So it's like when they're at their lowest, like very vulnerable, very depressed, they need to look to someone or like need someone to kind of help them. And I think that's when cult leaders like come in and kind of like manipulate them and take advantage of them. So very scary stuff. So anyways, she goes on this retreat and she talks about how her friends think she's having fun and it's just like a cool like honeymoon retreat kind of thing for herself. And she's like, no, bro, I'm actually working. And she goes into the itinerary of the average day: 4 hours of sleep a night, waking up at 3 a.m. to meditate for 5 hours straight. No breaks, no food, no bathroom breaks, nothing. Then she eats. Then she learns science for 2 hours. Then she meditates again, and then another break, and then meditates again. And then in a follow-up to her story, she claims that she healed a man who was in a wheelchair for years. She said this man can not only walk again, he can dance with joy. And people are like, what the fuck? So that was the one weird rabbit hole of Michelle Phan's cult. And then she went on TikTok and she was like, no, I didn't join a cult, guys. It's just like a really cool group that I have like a lot of respect for. It sounds like someone who joined a cult would say. The second one is where I'm a little bit blurry with the details. So I have to mention another YouTuber called Princess May, who is also a beauty YouTuber. I think her username is like Princess May, but her official name is May Yan. Chinese American girl, born and raised in LA. So she came out with this tweet. I cannot remember it word by word, but she was like queer, polyamorous, something else too. And she joined this class that she said promoted female empowerment. So it's run by this lady named Colette, and there are rumors about her that she's kind of the Ghislaine Maxwell of the LA community, where she grooms little Asian girls specifically to join these classes, and then they all kind of like take provocative pictures and like act like slaves to this one dude who gives off very Jeffrey Epstein vibes. And they posted pictures of this class, and it looks like very terrifying. Like they're all Asian girls. They're all dressed up in like the classic Asian girl like vibe kind of look. And May is just like, yeah, this is like, it's just promoting female empowerment. Like I'm all for this. It's made me so comfortable with my sexuality. But it looks very creepy in these pictures. I don't even know if I can post a picture here, but creepy looking. So Michelle Thon has come out and said that these classes are not what people think. This is not a BDSM class. It's not any culty thing. It's very cool. It's like what May said. It is very female empowering. So people are like, holy shit, Michelle Thon is part of this. And they said that she and Colette used to be colleagues at one point. So this goes a lot deeper, and this seems very yucky. And I don't know more details about this, unfortunately, because this is as far as my rabbit hole goes. But I will send you pictures about this.
How do you spell May Young?
May, so Meiyan.
Oh. That's crazy. It's like I just scrolled through her Instagram, like Michelle Phan's Instagram, and it looks pretty like
looks like normal, right? I think it's just the stories. I think that's where people come in.
It's kind of like crazy because it's like a lot of beauty influencers end up like in these really weird situations.
Yeah. Even I guess like to that point to even now, you see a lot of beauty YouTubers like always feuding with each other or have like so much beef, and then it turns out they're like grooming little kids or something, or like talking to little kids at Sisters, James Charles. So
and yet not canceled.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not even surprised. I feel like this is just like the norm now. Like so many of this stuff is like going on in LA. Maybe it's just like an LA rich people thing.
Grooming? Yeah, I bet.
Anyways, I'll send you the thread on Twitter if you want to read more about it.
Yeah, I will take a look.
Yeah, it's very messed up.
Maybe. Yeah.
Cool.
It's so crazy because it's like, well, like I never really got into her. Like I found her to be like too sophisticated for like what I wanted in like a beauty YouTuber, and I didn't find her really relatable. But it's still crazy to see like how fame can get to you.
She did mention that too. She said, I didn't think money would change me, but it did.
Yeah. So moving on, British YouTubers who also saw the rise within the early 2010s. So there's a few that I'm going to go through. I'm not going to go through as intricately as Maggie did because she really did her research into Michelle Phan, and I didn't realize we were that kind of podcast.
I just wanted to shock you with all the details because I was reading it and my jaw was dropping and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm glad you got into this rabbit hole, and I'm glad you shared it with us, but it was like, I did not get that memo.
That's okay.
But they also like haven't like I don't think anything has really come out about these YouTubers either that have been like super crazy like that. So okay, starting with Tanya Burr and Chapman. So they were like one of the it couples, I guess you could say, of like the British vlogger era. They were high school sweethearts. I think they met in like what is British high school. They dated for a really long time, like I think like 7 years, before they ended up getting married. Shortly after they got married, though, there was like rumors that they broke up, they were getting a divorce. Tanya seemed to be going more into the space of like acting and wanting to pursue that. it's kind of unclear what ultimately drove them apart, though, but there is speculation that she felt that she could do better and that she felt that she could get famous and that like Jim might have been like holding her back. There also was like allegations of maybe cheating, but like they never really commented on that. I think they also said like that wasn't true. We like ended up on good terms and everything. We just like wanted different things.
I think she lost like I don't think like a ton of weight. I don't think she was like chubby before. I thought she was fine. Um, yeah, she lost like a lot of weight, and then I guess like that's when you said she thought she
Yeah.
was better than Jim, even though he's like a tall, skinny white guy. Very
She was like
handsome.
really, yeah, like she was very curvy before, and I think like she was like I guess back in the day considered to be like like chubbier than the other YouTubers, because like the other ones were like very thin. So I guess like as she got into like acting and stuff, she did like ended up losing a lot of weight. So she lost a lot of her like butt, um, and she's like more like skinny now than curvy that she was before. And like whatever the reason was, like if she wanted to do it, she wanted to do it. But they ultimately broke up and it doesn't seem to be going that well for her. Like maybe like I don't know, she might just enjoy being single and everything. I think she's still doing like theater and pursuing acting and everything. But Jim on the other hand just had or not just, but like a few months ago, him and his fiance just had a kid. He is signed to a modeling agency. He is writing screenplays now, I think. And seems like he's like pretty happy. Like she could be happy too. Like I guess like I'm not saying that you need to be in a relationship to be happy, but it kind of feels like she kind of got the like shit end of the stick for some reason.
Yeah, it's also makes you rethink because remember when they came out, they were like the it couple. They were like, "Ah, it's Jim and Tanya. Like they're such couple goals and everything." Um, so I hope they're both happier. Maybe I guess they just weren't happy together.
Yeah. And it's sad because it's like, I when they broke up, I definitely had to question like what is even the point of relationships? Like it kind of like cuz it was such a thing that you looked up to like as a kid in your like primitive years and everything as you're like maturing and then they were together for so long, they went through like so much stuff and everything and then like ultimately for it to just like end like that after like marriage like kind of it's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um Second, another YouTube couple, Elfie Days and Zoe Sugg, who is also the behind Zoella. They recently also had a kid, and they seem to be very happy. Everything's going great. I still actually watch some of their vlogs because it's just like it just like feels so domestic, you know? Like everything about them, like he seems to be like at least like building up to the birth, like he seemed to be like getting ready to be like a great dad kind of thing, like reading books and like being like how can I best support my partner like throughout this process because like she's going through so much and I just don't feel like I'm doing enough for her and everything. Um
What a sweetie.
so Ella like looked really great for someone who was like 6 months pregnant and like even when she was like about to give birth, she still looked really great. But she's been, I think, struggling with, I guess, like body image and everything because she's always been like pretty thin and like had like a pretty good body. So I guess it's like she's like a little bit scared to put herself on camera and stuff. And like, I guess it's like also being a new mom, like very hard to juggle everything. So I'm glad they ended up working out. I know that Zoella has had some problematic things though, about like some of the stuff she's launched, like her beauty line and everything, and how like um they could be like she could be on the decline because like she just surrounds herself with yes people who just like say yes to everything that she wants to do, even though it might not be in the best intentions for her or like everyone else and stuff. So there's definitely controversies there, but that just might be YouTube speculation.
Um, my comment is I didn't know Alfie was so sweet to Zoella and like something about like to be dads just doing research about stuff and just putting in effort. That's hot. Love it.
Yeah. I love dads. Which is like it's such a bare minimum.
I
Like,
know,
you
I
know,
hate that.
the bar
Happy for
is
them.
low, ladies.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I
It
remember
like
when they
really is.
first got together and well, they were keeping a secret for so long and people kept
Mhm.
speculating like they're totally together. And then when they did, it was nice.
If they break up, I will be very sad because I am very into like parasocial relationships apparently. I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm part of their relationship. So, seeing them break up now would just be heartbreaking. She's also like I think 32 now. So,
I'm so mind blown by how young these YouTubers are.
yeah. But like they were slightly older than you back in the day. So like what do you expect them to be like 40 now?
I don't know. Like for some reason, they just seemed like so much older than us when they were at their height.
Mm. But I guess it's like when we were younger, we think anyone who's like a little bit older than us to be like so much older than
Yeah,
us.
that's fair.
So then there was also Marcus Butler. He was like part of like I guess that crew and everything. He kind of did the same style. They did a lot of collaborations together. They did a lot of like vlog stuff together, get-togethers and stuff. And they did seem to actually like be friends, but like they don't everyone doesn't seem to like hang out anymore. And like I don't know if that's just because like everyone's kind of like moved on with their lives, but they're still like they still keep in touch kind of thing, or like they were just friends for YouTube.
I think maybe at the time it's like, you know, when you're really into YouTube or like really
Mhm.
into a hobby, like you surround yourself with people who are also really into it. So I think it was just for YouTube.
Yeah. Which is I guess
Fair.
good for
End of an
yeah,
era.
end of an era. Marcus Butler has now moved to LA. Him and his girlfriend have started a clothing company. He has deleted all his videos on YouTube. I think there was a tweet that said like, it's so weird having shared like a third of your life with like everyone online and stuff. Like after he deleted his videos, he is now into crypto, which is
Ugh.
unsurprising. Like I don't think he
Yuck.
like pushes crypto really hard, but I think it's like he just has like a crypto hobby, which is like fair. You can have
That
your hobby.
that funds his lifestyle in LA.
No, like I'm pretty sure his like YouTuber money funds his lifestyle in
Okay.
LA. Um and his like fashion brand seems to be doing pretty well
Huh.
as yeah.
Good for him.
Like there's like this thing where it's like if you have like $1 million, like if you've earned $1 million and you just have it like sitting in a bank or whatever and you invest it, you could live off of that $1 million for
Hmm.
like a good chunk of your life. So maybe he was just like really good with money, I guess, like
Hmm.
during the height of his era. It's almost like that's like kind of cool, you know? Like if you make so much money during this like one period of your life to be able to like quit doing like influencing and just like live your life on the DL for the rest of your life, but with this money, like
Pretty cool.
yeah, it's
I
almost like respectable.
I think we also have to note that Marcus Butler's family is very affluent and rich.
Ooh, I didn't know that. What do
I
they do?
I remember from his like past vlogs when he would do like his family stuff. They were all pretty rich.
Never mind, I take it back.
I think, or maybe yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
Marcus
Um,
Butler family rich. Hmm. Well, nothing says anything about his family, but they say apparently he's rich. His net worth is $1 million.
yeah. And like that's pretty good. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Yeah.
Um, but someone who is for sure his family is affluent is Casper Lee. Um, they I think he's originally from South Africa. His family's still in South Africa. He did like a family house tour once, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like I understand like housing is not as expensive in South Africa, but it was a massive house. um, so he kind of like honorary British YouTuber, I guess, even though he wasn't British. He I guess, moved to London eventually. Partnered a lot with like Joe Sugg, who is like Zoella's brother. They did like a whole prank war thing. They were roommates for a while. He eventually started dating a fan, um, which was kind of cute because there's like a before picture where they met like 6 years ago and then like an after picture, and she really glowed up. But um that was like news for a while, I guess. He also randomly stopped posting in 2019, I think. Similar to Marcus, like they both kind of just stopped. Like there was nothing like announced. It was just like just the end, and they never posted again. He hasn't deleted his YouTube videos and everything. So he might eventually come back to it. There's no, I guess, explanation for why kind of he like left. But he has since created a talent management company for like influencers and stuff. He's invested into some other companies to like diversify. I think one of the companies like is like some kind of like maybe like food related because it's in a lot of grocery stores now. Um, he also is building homes, I think, in South Africa for like the less fortunate and stuff, just to give them like stable housing for students and everything. So good for him for, I guess, using platform for good. Good for him for diversifying. Very like all like relatively unproblematic.
Oh, that's
um,
good.
yeah. And then finally, Dan Howell, who, in my opinion, I'm not sure if Maggie agrees with me, inspired this whole video.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about it.
Yeah. So he recently just came out with an hour and a half long video monologue about what happened and why he went away and why he is now back and everything that's happened in between. And similar to Michelle Phan, he did suffer from like bouts of depression, and like mental health issues, even though he seemed like very happy, like on the outside and stuff. And he kind of like, it sucks because he's one of those like YouTubers that kind of got targeted as being like, you're gay, right? And like everyone would constantly speculate on his sexuality until finally, like 2 years ago, he came out with a video saying, I'm gay. Um, and that was shitty. And
Yeah,
like,
everyone kept shipping like him and Phil, and it was like
yeah,
very uncomfortable for them, who were probably best friends and roommates. Like if people kept shipping me and you, they're like in their spare time, they probably make out and have sex and do other lesbian things.
okay. It's like, I guess it's like it got pretty intense. Like there were like Dan and Phil fan fiction and everything. Like it's probably like it's not comfortable. It's definitely like if and you constantly get like bouts of it and everything. Like it's not great. But he did point out how like he kind of fell into the same trap where he kept on caring what other people think rather than trying to do things for himself because like of the like analytics and everything. So glad. I think I have like 5 minutes left of video. I don't know if he's actually coming back.
He said it's like you know how people sign off. They're like, I'm only gonna focus on things that make me happy now.
Yeah.
So unclear.
Yeah. Good for him though. I had such a crush on him as a kid.
I remember your phone wallpaper was him for a very long time. And I don't know. Also, I don't know if he was particularly happy. He made a lot of depressed videos.
And I related to that.
Yeah. But I think back then as a kid, you're just like, haha, lol, depression. And then that's what he kind of did. But on the inside, he was actually depressed, not lol.
Yeah. I mean, they always say like Gen Z is like credited with like I guess more acceptance of like mental health and everything, and like they like joke a lot about like depression and everything too at the same time. But like we literally grew up with like an acronym for like kill myself. Like literally you would say kill myself like all the time.
Yeah. Wow, the blow up of the British YouTubers. I like that none of them have, knock on wood, any like really blow up controversies. Like they all just seem to be like chilling, doing their own thing. That's great. Very really avoided the drama.
British.
Good for them. Or they're really good at hiding like their really weird kinks. Okay, so the next segment, we're going to talk about Asian YouTubers. Like we said, around this time, there was a big blow up of the British ones and the Asian ones. For Asian YouTubers, we got WongFu, KevJumba, Ryan Hika, and also honorary mention to Just Kidding Films. I personally did not watch Just Kidding Films. Did you?
I did a little bit.
I was reading about like all their drama and stuff, and there's just literally way too much of Just Kidding Films drama that I don't even know if I'm going to capture it properly, but I'll give you the TLDR. So they had a public feud with one of their interns, Olivia Tai, I think her name is. I don't know if you know her. I don't know any of these people. I only know Bart and David So, and Gio, I guess. And so Olivia had come out and said that the interns at Just Kidding Films are grossly underpaid and are worked like slaves, and that they're just expected to be kind of yes people kind of thing. And she released like this whole video statement about it. And then Just Kidding Films, because I guess they had so many staff and stuff, they all like came out publicly and like bashed her. Like David So even said like, I'm blunt, like I'm not part of Just Kidding Films, like, but they're the reason why I got my start. And he called her like stupid and said like how she was so unprofessional for like posting like her personal life on YouTube, and that this should have been a professional thing, and like she's burned all her bridges. And she came out and was like, I'm more than happy to release all the emails between me and Just Kidding Films and how unprofessional they were and how they were constantly bullying me. So that was one thing. Another thing recently, so they were between two other people. So one person named Josh, he was saying how he was being constantly bullied as well. Bullied and kind of like they did like racist stuff to him, and like he never got his voice heard in the creative process with Just Kidding Films. They've actually like branched out and they've done like a lot more things too. I'm just going to refer to it as Just Kidding Films because that's how I know them as. But the guy Josh was like, I've decided to leave. Like we're not leaving on good terms. And a lot of the cast members again came out online, like Twitter or wherever, like bashing him. Same thing again with another person named Tiffany. I think she and Gio were best friends. They're both Mexican, I believe. And Tiffany also came out saying she wasn't paid. They fired her after she took off a few weeks to take care of her grandma who was dying of cancer. And we see the same thing again. JK Films coming out on Twitter bashing her, saying she was unprofessional. She did this to herself. She took more than 3 weeks or whatever. Either way, she was grieving. Very unprofessional. This is the extent of the drama that I know. I'm just giving the TLDR.
Now that like I see the videos, it's triggering more. Like I think I did watch them quite a bit, and I liked Just Kidding News, but Tiffany actually is dating or still married or is in a relationship with Casey, who is like a very close friend and like works on Just Kidding Films. So they're still together, and it's like I wonder how they kind of like navigated that, I guess.
People were criticizing Casey for still staying with them after they treated her so poorly. So we'll see how long that relationship lasts.
They've been together for a very long time. So
they were saying that like Tiffany was getting preferential treatment because she was like so close with Gio, and Gio was married to Bart, who's the co-founder of all this. So Gio has a lot of stuff, a lot of pull. And then also rumors that she had stolen money from one of their podcasts, and then she went to form her own podcast. And then I think Tiffany had said something to Gio, and then Gio like blew up and dumped Tiffany. And that's when all this stuff happened.
Yeah. They are still together. Bart and Gio. And like Bart has since like leaned, I guess, more into the fitness realm as well. Like he has his own gym, Barbell Brigade, own fitness YouTube channel, Barbell Brigade. And he is like known as the person who kind of started the whole like influencer gym trend. Like influencers eventually like building up and like their own gym for something like for, I guess, living the lifestyle that they want to live. So they're loaded.
They live in Texas now, actually, and he films stuff in LA. Like he'll fly to LA once every 3 weeks to film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think he has a PJ?
What's a PJ?
A private jet.
Oh shit, maybe. No, there's no way he's that rich.
But like, he could be
He
because
could
like
be. If it's like
a
once every 3 weeks, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the flight isn't long either. Like they're pretty close to each other, so.
Yes.
That's insane. I didn't realize they had like this much controversy, I guess, like surrounding them.
Yeah, I didn't
But
even
like,
realize they were that big anymore.
yeah, like I are they like? Do they still have like? Are they still posting?
I think so, but everyone on Reddit says it's very boring and it's not the same as it used to be.
That's fair. Like, but like that's also one of the things where it's like your viewers get older and you either like evolve with them or you do the same thing that you've always done and hope that works.
They were
So,
saying JK Films did not evolve with the trends and they did not evolve with their viewership.
yeah.
Yeah, good point.
So that you can't like I guess it's like you can't really fault them for that. Like they kind of made the wrong decision, I guess, and they were like kind of just banking on their original success. They've also like maybe like their main focus isn't YouTube anymore.
They were about to sell out to another network channel, I think, but then that fell through. And then they kept talking about a movie, and then that's been going on for years.
Well, other Asian YouTubers, WongFu.
Okay, WongFu. They changed the game, I think. Like they made like really cool films. It was Ted, Phil, and Wes. Beautiful, beautiful Wes. Back in the day, me and Wanda both had such a huge crush on him. Now really none of them are with WongFu anymore. Like I think they still support it, but they're not. They like moved on to their own thing. Phil, I think, still is like there behind the scenes, like still supporting it, but I think he's left. What's his name? Ted has definitely left. He's married, moved on. Good for him. Wes, I believe, has also left. So just Phil was kind of still loosely attached to it, but not really. He just got married too.
And he owns a bubble tea shop.
Yes. Oh, I remember. Shout out to Kathy who visited their bubble tea shop.
And did she like it?
I think so. Yeah, they had cool food. But nothing really dramatic there. I still occasionally watch like the WongFu videos. They're still very good. They've passed it on to like a newer generation now, which I think is like a mature thing of them to do. Like they rode the wave and now they're like, we're gonna phase ourselves out, which I think is respectable.
Yeah. I mean, like realistically, they didn't even have to pass it on. Like
yeah, they could have stayed.
Could have just died with them.
But I think the more I think about it, I'm like, it's really nice that they're kind of passing the torch on to the newer Asian generation because like they want to keep up with like trends and have their own personal life.
Yeah. Like WongFu made a lot of like Asian acting careers. Like Randall Park, like originally was in WongFu. Now he's like a mainstream actor.
Simu Liu.
Was he?
He was in actually a couple of WongFu shorts.
Wow.
Before like he blew up.
That's insane. Yeah. I didn't know that. I guess that was after the time that I stopped watching WongFu.
Maybe, yeah. It was because I remember when Shang-Chi was announced, I was like, holy shit, that's the guy from WongFu. They made it. So that was pretty nice.
Oh, I knew him from Kim's Convenience, which is a great show, and you should all watch it. Too. Yeah. So I didn't realize he was in WongFu at the time. I was just like, oh, like he had Kim's Convenience, so they saw him there, and then it was. But yeah, they like really launched a lot of like careers and everything, especially for like Asian Americans. They also like really good sketches, too, which touched on like not just I guess like Asian American issues, but a lot of other issues as well. And it was like so relatable and so sad, and it's just like I think a lot of actually Asian Americans credit them as like one of like the first like Asian American like filmmakers and everything. Really like changed the game and everything. So that's like insane. That's amazing.
Go them. I love them. No drama that I know of. Ryan Hika, will quickly sum up, is now streaming. I forget why he said no more YouTube. I think he just didn't have like inspiration anymore.
Hmm.
And he's pretty burnt out. Like he went through a lot. Um,
Yeah, he really kind of shouldn't be included in the 2010 like bubble because he was popular at the beginning of YouTube, like
yeah,
how to be a ninja and everything.
how to be a
Like,
gangster. Yeah.
yeah. So he's always been pretty popular and pretty famous, like I
Hmm.
guess on YouTube and everything, and like waves.
Yeah.
There's been like ebbs and flows of him.
Hmm. Um, I think I did go through a phase like last year where I was just watching all his like clips from streaming. And he like reviewed his past videos and just like gave behind the scenes commentary, which I think is really cute and really nice.
I should watch that.
It's good. It's like a nice nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
Um, Last but not least, KevJumba. This was very interesting. So KevJumba had always featured his dad in his videos, and he was like, he seemed like this awkward like Asian kid in his room, but also like charismatic in a way. That's how I always saw him, and he just like seemed to film like very relatable content. Then him and his dad went on to like do the Amazing Race, and then I was reading an interview today about KevJumba, and they were saying he was tapped on the shoulder to do a lot of really big projects. So he had gone to college, then he dropped out because he was like, "Oh shit, I'm getting a lot more popular than I thought I would."
Hmm.
Um, and they were like, KevJumba is going to be the next like big thing. Like he's huge. He was signed up to do like acting classes, signed up to do like so many auditions and stuff. So the show Masters of None, he was tapped on the shoulder to be Aziz Ansari's best friend, and he declined it. Um, and yeah, just like so many upcoming projects. And his friend Justin Chan, who is also Eric from Twilight, was like Kevin was going to go places. Like he was going to be like the next like token Asian actor kind of thing. But Kevin got like very overwhelmed from it all. He said that, you know, same thing with all the YouTubers, like he just wasn't finding like enjoyment from this anymore. Everything felt kind of fake for him. He needed to kind of take a step back and focus on his mental health and I guess spiritual outlook. So then he um it's unclear what he really did, but he like looked into different religions and he tried to take a more spiritual path. And they said that he had joined a cult, but he was like, no, 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 it's just a spiritual journey for me. I want to come back to YouTube and the camera with like a more enlightened sense of the world, which is very respectable. And then one day in 2015, Kevin was hit by a car. He was walking and he had like intense spinal nerve injury to his back. And he had moved back in with his parents. They took care of him. And again, he turned to religion to really kind of guide him through because he was suffering with a lot of chronic pain, I guess a lot of anger and depression. So good for him. I don't think he is making a big comeback anytime soon. I know he does like small projects where he's really focused on nonprofit and trying to help other people. But nothing big or controversial with him either.
Sucks. I read about the car accident too. Like I was like, this poor man.
He was just walking.
Yeah, I know. Like it's just like
Walking is
it feels
dangerous.
like he's literally the definition of like having so many like good things, but yet so many bad things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like when these two worlds collide and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like so heartbreaking because it's like there was like he did have so many like opportunities and everything, and then like he just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he like did like podcast with Ryan Higa in 2019, and that was kind of like the last that anyone's really like heard from him like publicly. Like he stopped posting on Instagram, like everything. um so it's like his story is like very upsetting for me. Like every time I think about KevJumba, I'm like I get like I'm upset for like everything that has happened to him
I didn't
because I
even
feel
know
like
about
he
the car
deserves
accident
better.
until this morning.
Yeah, I didn't know either, and it's like it's but like even just thinking about like how he just disappeared and how he was like one of the first like really popular mainstream YouTubers to do that. Like it was like everyone was like, "Where's KevJumba? Like what happened to KevJumba?" And like years later, people were still speculating what happened to him and everything. So it's like it's sad to see that like behind the curtain, not everything's so great.
Yeah, I think from another point of view too, it's interesting that like we as the viewers feel like entitled to know like where the YouTubers went. Like, where did you guys go? Are you gonna come back or what? Tell us everything.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're just like us. They're trying to figure it out too.
Yeah. And it's like something Dan Howell had mentioned in his video where it's like it feels like their real life is like a reality TV show. So like when they stop being friends with someone, they're like, "Oh, where did this character go?" But like it's not just a character. This is like a real relationship that like you had, but everyone else just treats it as like television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were more to touch on, but I think we're getting too sad.
Yeah.
Also, Shane Dawson just has so many stuff. Like, I was reading another thing about it, and it's just, there's too much.
Well, okay. Maybe we'll do like a part 2 of this next week. There's like one thing in particular that I really want to talk about with Shane Dawson, and it's like really fucking gross.
All American YouTubers are so messed up.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we'll just do an American YouTuber. White American
Yeah,
YouTuber. Well, thanks for tuning in again this week. Go follow us on social media, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and go listen to us and like us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And join us again next Thursday for another episode of Apologetically Me.
Bye.